Now, it's time for the Tubby Smith Show, presented by the Mid-South Chevy Dealers, the official truck of the Memphis Tigers. The show is also supported by Regional One Health, Jack Pirtle's Chicken, AutoZone, Pizza Hut, and by MLGW.
Welcome in, everyone. The very first Tubby Smith Show. So good to have you with us, Coach. It was 8 months ago. I know time flies when you're having fun, that you took the job and you've had to acclimate and really move on the fly, and you got 8 games under your belt. But let's just start with coming to Memphis. How's it been? Do you feel like a Memphian yet?
Well, yeah, I feel good. Feel good about the move. We feel that we've acclimated to the environment. You know, it always takes some time, you know, and we've moved a few times over the years.
Yes.
But Don and I are very excited about this. My staff, we put together an outstanding coaching staff that I think is doing a magnificent job. We got in late, especially when you talk about recruiting. And we take the job in April when pretty much everyone signs in an early signing period, and then you have a late signing period. But we're getting acclimated to this great city. It's a wonderful place. The resources needed to help us build this program the right way are being put in place, are in place, and so we're excited about all the things.
And you did get off to a nice start, too. You signed 3 guys early, and they fit your mold, the thing that you want.
Well, it helps that we have been in the business, and we've done a good job where we've been in the past. I think every place we've been, we probably left them in better shape than the way when we found them. So,
and you've taken them to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, well, that's helped. You know, so, and we have gotten off to a good start. I like the energy and the enthusiasm on the part of our players, our staff, and the fans, and because that's the most important thing. You know, certainly we're honored to be leading the Memphis Tiger basketball program, and I'm grateful to Dr. Rudd and to Tom Bowen, our athletic director, and our president for giving us this opportunity. But we know it's a process. It's something that's not going to happen overnight, and we're trying to develop. You mentioned recruits, so we're happy with the recruits that we signed in the early signing period, but we know we have to have more players and better players.
Well, you're one of only 2 guys that have ever taken 5 teams to the NCAA, 5 different schools, and I know there's going to be a 6th. I can't wait to watch all of that. Here's what's coming up on the inaugural Tubby Smith Show. First, you'll see game highlights. We've got Jackson State, and we've got Ole Miss. That comes your way. The Mid-South Chevy Dealers Inside Access is a look inside practice where the players talk about what they like about this year's team. And the AutoZone road ahead is another early game. That'll be next Saturday at FedEx Forum against UAB. Back in a minute, we go down to Oxford on the Tubby Smith Show.
Tubby Smith Show.
Welcome back in. The Tubby Smith Show presented by your Mid-South Chevy Dealers. And you had to go down to Oxford after you'd started off very nicely. You played 7 games at that point. You were 6-1. And I know you were feeling good about this team as you learned more about them.
Well, it was the first true road game, and I thought we got off to a shaky start, but we really recovered and responded the right way, especially in the second half when we came back after being down 10 or 12. So I'm really impressed. And so our guys, you take a guy like KJ Lawson, who's been in this, you know, they've played against the Lawson boys and some of the other players on the team. There are a lot of players at Ole Miss that are from the region and from the area. So we knew it was going to be a tough time.
You had foul trouble you had to deal with, and KJ didn't quite play as many minutes as he normally would. Certainly Diedrich did not get to. He only played 12 in the first half, and he played 10 in the second half. Normally he plays 32. He could only play 22, but you're still sharing that basketball.
Well, we're doing a good job. With 17 assists, I think we're one of the top assist teams in the country. You can see we're throwing the ball down there, and I think we had. And Chad Lycook is really doing a good job. Here's a young man who hasn't played in 3 years, 4 years. So he's doing a good job here. We're getting excellent outside play and leadership, especially at the point guard spot. Jeremiah is doing a good job of getting us in the offense. Diedrich Lawson, you know, he had a tough game the other day. So did KJ, but that's who Ole Miss, I guess their defense was designed to stop them as best they could. But we got some good play out of Jamario Rivers. He came in off the bench and has been playing excellent basketball. Markel Crawford, who was one of the players of the game, really did an excellent job. So it was You know, it was a game that we needed to find out how we would respond in a hostile arena, and I think, I'm not happy about the loss, but we were able to learn some things, spend time breaking down the film with the team, with the players, so they can understand the areas that we need to improve on to be better. And that's passing the basketball, something we got away from because they were pressing.
In both the losses, Providence and Ole Miss and Oxford, that were both games you could have won.
Oh, well.
So it's not like this wasn't a contest. This was something that you'll learn from and get better and better and better. And you were talking about Chad Rycook, and that's tough in the middle. This kid, Sebastian Saez.
Well, we didn't get down in the trap properly. You see that we went down there. We were supposed to double team, but our guards, I guess they were scared of him because he was turning so quickly. I guess they thought they were going to get popped in the mouth or something, because you're supposed to go down there and put your body on him. But you can see that we did an adequate job. He shot under 50%. You know, I think he did shoot above his average. I think he went 7 for 15, as did DeAndre Burton. So we did a good job, especially in the second half, in making them take tough shots. But again, we had some breakdowns defensively and offensively that allowed them to get good shots. Good transition there, you can see. And we're at our best when we're pushing the ball up the court in transition.
This is the Pizza Hut delivery of the game. The pass is perfect. KJ with the triple, and everybody is delivered.
Well, KJ is a multifaceted player. You know, he was pizza delivery player of the week, and he did a super job there of handling his emotions, because I could tell that, you know, it was sort of emotional because it is Ole Miss, and they're just across the border in Mississippi. But it was a tough game, too.
Well, you just saw Diedrich came in. You get your first lead of the game. As he comes in, he hits a three, made that play, but he picked up his fourth foul not far after, and this kid's been marvelous, Markel.
Markel has really stepped up and played good basketball for us. You know, we wish a couple other shots, some more shots would fall for us, but again, that's what KJ does. That's what Diedrich does. Getting to the offensive glass, a good pass, a good penetration and pass. And we got away from that. This is when we made that run. We made a big run here to get back, get a 6-point lead after being down 10, and we were doing it with our defense. Then all of a sudden,
tough call there, and that's 3 shots. Saez
which
made
ties the game up, yeah. And he's a very good. They're an excellent free throw shooting team. You know, in the second half they went 21 for 22,
20 of 21.
20 of 21. They were very. So and that's our Achilles heel right now. We're not shooting. We're not making our free throws. It's something we really need to get better at. And they just sort of had some defensive breakdowns and gave up some easy baskets, and that always leads to turnovers, which lead to a loss.
Couple of turnovers in a row and fouls, and they hit free throws. And in the end, it's a lesson to be learned. You know, one of the nice things, though, is how you came back against a hostile environment. That's the first time you've played a true road game.
Well, this team has no quitting, and I'm very impressed with how they have kept their composure. Now, we haven't always executed the best during those clutch and crunch times, but I know that we're getting better. And so even though there was that negativism about losing a game or losing 2 games, but we're still a very young team. You know, we're starting with 3 sophomores, you know, a guy who hasn't played at all in college basketball, so he's a freshman, and Chad Rycook, and a kid like Markel Crawford, who's a junior but really should be a sophomore. So
right.
I'm really pleased with how we're progressing. We just need to keep getting better.
I know you liked the game earlier in the week. That was against Jackson State. It was the Battle of the Tigers. We've got those highlights coming your way next.
Watching the Tubby Smith Show.
Nice to have you back in. Thanks for watching. All right, so you have a little different setup here than you've had pretty much anywhere else. You got to go downtown like the Tigers will when they play Jackson State here at FedEx Forum. You're sort of used to on campus. It's a little different for you.
Well, you mentioned earlier about how we're adapting and how we're adjusting to Memphis. You know, things we have to learn about the university and about our athletic facilities and the use of them. And we have the Fitch Center where we practice, and we have, you know, FedEx Forum is where we play. So, you know, pretty much, other than the fan base, you know, we don't get a chance to really practice there. So it's like a road game because our guys go and stay downtown at the Peabody Hotel or wherever we stay at that particular time, and really they do a fantastic job. And I'm really grateful that our university, our athletic department, provides the resources for us to get that done.
So here comes the battle of the Tigers, and as you mentioned, Chad Rycook's getting better and better and better. There were a couple of guys that we hadn't seen a whole lot that you got to play in this game as you built a big lead right off the bat, and one of them will come later, and a kid in Christian Kessie, and you took this kid who was the best shooter in the MEAC a year ago, and he struggled a little bit, but I think he's ready to come out of his shell.
Well, he's coming off the bench. You know, he hadn't done that in his college career probably, so now and that's like Keon Perjon. He's having that same issue as most players when they come to college. They've got to learn how to be ready physically and mentally and emotionally to come off the bench and get the job done immediately. So we try to work on that in practice as well. But you can see in Jackson State Tigers, they're a very tough team. I'm very impressed with the coach, Brent, who's really got them playing hard. You know, I know they were a team that's going to be very competitive in their league. You can see the high-low feed. It's one of the things we're doing.
I love that.
Because we've got to find ways to get Diedrich the ball inside as well as getting the ball outside. As you can see, another high-low pass. We felt like we had an advantage in the middle, down low, and we did. You know, and those things pay off. And once you start establishing the inside game, that opens up the outside game. And that's the best time to attack a defense is take the ball to the heart. Like in most sports, you got to go right up the middle. If you're strong, you take the ball and beat them in their strength, which is at the basket. It's important. Again, we're doing a good job of sharing the basketball. I think in this game we had 20-plus assists in this game maybe. And so
You did. Well, you've got 22 a game, which is #2 in the entire country. And in the middle of this game, I got this thing that was the stat that was passed to me, that you had, at that point, you had assisted on 2/3 of all your buckets made, 67%. That's unheard of.
Well, we know that's how we have to play in order to score. We have some talent. You know, we have a pro player in Diedrich Lawson. We have KJ, who's a very talented player. You know, Mario, who just made that basket. And Mario Rivers is an athletic junior college player who loves Memphis and is having a good time. He's coming off a stiff back after coming from Florida, but he's really starting to play well. And Markel Crawford, what can I say about him? He's our emotional leader. So he's a guy that keeps people energized. He can knock down the open shot. I like to see him, shoot the jumper better.
That was that Kessie 3, that jumper. That was the one that gave you a little bit of breathing.
Well, that
cut it to 8 there.
Well, he had just come in the game.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure he should have taken that shot after touching it only 1 or 2 times, but he was ready. He had confidence, and I have confidence in that he can get into play. But the tough thing is that Jeremiah has been playing so well as a point guard and distributing the ball. We're asking a lot of him to be this a sophomore. I don't know. He only started a few games last year, but he's really stepping up, and he's been probably the most pleasant. Not a surprise, but I'm more pleased with him than I am with anybody in the way he plays and the way he's controlling and running the team.
All right. I got to ask you about the kid from Egypt.
You don't have to, but you go ahead.
Is there any chance he comes to help? That's the only guy we haven't talked about.
Well, Kareem Azab is a young man who has a lot of talent. Played on his Egyptian national team, so he's had a lot of basketball experience. And he's a big body. He's a 270-pound, 275-pound, great hands, really knows how to pass out of the post. His obvious, and I can't say enough about our strength coach, Randy Flores, and the kid is committed and dedicated. He's there all the time at the Fence Center, working out, getting in extra work. And his body now, he's streamlined his body, he's fit, and he's ready. I just hope that that the NCAA will give us that, we'll let him play.
Still a chance. That's the key. We got to take a break. Mid-South Chevy Dealers Inside Access. That's next on the Tubby Smith Show.
You're watching the Tubby Smith Show.
Inside Access today is all about harmony. How these guys, well, this year's edition of the Tigers like playing with each other.
I just like the way we're accepting the criticism, the way we're coming in and working each day. I think each day we're improving, and the way we're working is just a big jump from last year. Not taking any days off, so I think we're just coming in to learn more from a coach as Coach Tubby Smith, a Hall of Fame coach, so we're soaking up all that learning.
4 passes. 4 passes, 4 passes, all right?
I like how, close we are. We're not like how some teams have different groups be together. I like how the team that we have is everybody is all together, and I think that could help us down the road.
Let's go man in the middle. Okay, one ball middle, 3 lines.
We play well together, and we have a bunch of unselfish players, so I think we have a really good chance to be a good team.
Here we go.
I think we're going to bring a lot of defense this year, hard work. Teamwork's really hard, so I like everything that I see. We compete every day in practice, and it's been great.
A lot of guys count us out, and that's fine. We've been in here grinding the whole summer. We're just looking for a great year, finish top 2 in the conference.
Different than last year because Coach makes us play at a higher level than we played last year, but we've been looking a lot better. I mean, we're getting better each and every day, and that's what Coach is probably most excited about. That's what we're most excited about.
One thing for sure, Coach, you have got their attention.
Well, I love when you said harmony, because without harmony, nothing can really grow. But then again, it can be destroyed very quickly. So we have to concentrate, and we're into the season now, so that it's good to have players believe and trust in the process, trust in the system. But we also know there's going to be those moments of distractions. But I'm impressed with how our guys have played together and how unselfish they've played. But that's part of, again, the process of teaching them how to play, and that in team sport, you have to depend on one another.
Coming up, it's time for the AutoZone Road Ahead. An old friend will be in town. The Blazers on Saturday. That's next.
You're watching The Tubby Smith Show.
Time for the AutoZone Road Ahead. An old friend will be coming back to town. It's been 4 years since the UAB Blazers have come to Memphis. FedEx Forum, don't forget, noon early. This is a team, Coach, that went to the NCAAs a year ago.
Well, they're a very talented team. They have a new coach. The coach left and took the Stanford job, but they are defending Conference USA champions. They picked to win the league again this year, Conference USA again this year. They've had a very talented group of guys, and you mentioned an old nemesis, old friends, because Gene Bartow, who I knew extremely well. There were a ton of players. There were a ton of players that came out of Memphis that played for UAB, because I was in the Sun Belt Conference at the time at Virginia Commonwealth University, and we had some great battles.
I got a feeling you're going to have a great battle on your hands on Saturday. So good to have you with us here. Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.
That'll do it for all of us. See you Saturday. See you next Monday.
Thank you for watching The Tubby Smith Show, presented by the Mid-South Chevy Dealers, the official truck of the Memphis Tigers. The show is also supported by Regional One Health, Jack Pirtle's Chicken, AutoZone, Pizza Hut, and by MLGW.